Good morning, everyone. Welcome to an action-packed premium public video forecast discussion. As always on Fridays, we do a preview, so to speak, of the premium content that we get every day at NY and JPA Weather in the premium section. We have a lot to talk about. I've been studying the water vapor satellite picture, been looking at the buff kit data, trying to figure out what to do with this upcoming storm. Well, let's dive into the data, shall we? Currently, we have winds coming in from the northwest around 5 to 15 miles per hour with a few flurries here and there, especially around the Poconos and Catskills. Temperatures range from the lower to mid 20s in your higher elevations, mid to upper 20s in your suburbs, and upper 20s to lower 30s in your urban areas. Pretty much a quiet day with plenty of sunshine, with high pressure in control, providing excellent weather conditions. But you can see off to the west, trouble is brewing with our developing storm that is going to head towards our neck of the woods by tomorrow afternoon. So, this storm is a bit complicated in one specific area, and we're going to focus on that. And then, because of this storm, a storm that follows it has the potential of producing even more significant impacts, including flooding and strong winds. So, how is everything coming together? Well, when we take a look at the latest 850 millibar heights here, this feature right here is going to be very important to our storm development tomorrow night into Sunday morning. As this feature marches across the country and gets a bit sheared from the influence of the polar shortwave up here, it's going to redevelop off the New Jersey coast. And the difference between the colder and warmer solutions, specifically on the I-95 corridor, is pretty much the make or break of this entire forecast. So, as it's marching across the country, it's going to be a key factor in just how much this gets sheared apart and how quickly it redevelops off the New Jersey coast by midnight on Saturday into early Sunday morning. When we take a look at the latest 850 millibar Prague here, here's the 850 millibar low, and here are the cold temperatures. You can see plenty of cold air is available. In this scenario, cold air is not the issue as far as being a lack of cold air. The question really comes down to, as this is redeveloping, how much warm air transport is able to push northward before it gets stopped as the new 850 millibar low starts to redevelop. Now, we've talked about mid-level low pressure systems before. They can be rather tricky to forecast and they can create a lot of volatility in the forecast. So when I put out the public snow map and also in the premium zoom map that we'll take a look in just a moment, I mentioned the fact it was specifically where confidence is low and confidence is high, and it is directly due to the evolution of this low pressure system. Now, when we take a look at the current infrared satellite pictures, you see it's pretty robust. It's pretty impressive in terms of the strength of this shortwave. So, in no way, shape, or form is this a weak storm right now. It's very impressive in terms of the lifting here with the leaf here that is developing. Plenty of thunderstorms and convection down here along the Gulf Coast. So right now, it's not exactly getting torn apart like some of the guys were suggesting. And this is why we're kind of seeing this back and forth with our model guidance from 0Z to 12Z and back again because of these issues. When you take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, you can see again, here's our polar shortwave diving in. Here's our subtropical shortwave. Again, in the subtropical jet stream, which you can see the jet stream down here. So this is going to provide all the moisture. Now we're going to see that interaction of the cold air. And as this is moving through, what we're going to be watching for on the water vapor satellite picture is how fast do we see an explosion of lifting here in the mid-Atlantic that's going to signify that shift towards the coast and that redevelopment and that intensification. So again, when we take a look at the upper level winds here, this is at 250 millibars. You can see the ridge axis here. This is what's going to give us our pleasant day with this ridge axis passing through the region, supporting sinking air. Again, a ridge axis equals sinking air, which means pleasant weather conditions. This trough here, what we're going to be watching today is how much does it lose its singularity in a way? Okay. So the idea here is that this trough interacts with this trough, and as it does so and starts to go into more of a negative tilt towards the coast, it loses some of its uh, heights, and it weakens a little bit because it becomes a little bit sheared. If this factor remains a little bit stronger, that is where we get our colder solution from, because again, everything kind of works down. So this is going to be a very important feature that I'm going to be watching over the next 24 hours. So when we take a look at the latest model guidance, we're using the European model guidance from weathermodels.com, excellent website. You can see the shortwave coming in here. You can see the strong lifting. There's no doubt about that. You see what I mean with the open wave feature here that shows up. The question, part of the question here is how much of this ends up being more of a muted wave as opposed to just a stronger, sharper trough, like we've seen in other guidance, which keeps on wavering back and forth. And then at 850 millibars, this low pressure system right here, right around midnight, let's zoom in on that. Okay, this feature right here is what is going to make or break your forecast on the I-95 corridor. The model guidance over the past couple of days has been trending a little bit more consolidated over the past 12 hours with this low pressure system, whereas the model guidance well before that, which was much warmer, was hinting at this low pressure system not even forming until it got to the southeast of Long Island. So the timing here of this feature is very key. Now, let me make this very clear. If you are in southern New Jersey, let's say Ocean County on southward through Cape May, doesn't matter what the timing of this low pressure system is. The track and the orientation of this low means that this is going to be rainfall. But let's say from central Monmouth County on up through New York City and Newark and northeast New Jersey, that's where this makes all the difference in terms of how it evolves and how quickly it evolves. And a difference of just 3 hours could lead to a drastically different forecast with some more icy conditions on the roadways and around the region. So that is the question here. And another thing that kind of stands out to me is you see this waviness here. This is a concern to me for those of you who are in the Poconos, northern New Jersey, the Hudson River Valley, and Connecticut. Why? Well, let's take a look at our 850 millibar temperatures here. And this feature right here is what stands out for me for those of you over the interior. Zoom in here, right here. Okay, so you see this signal here that's showing up here? And you see it right there. There we are. That's what I wanted to show. Pardon me. Okay, so this feature right here, why is this so important to me? This is a strong sign of sinking air and rising air, as in mesoscale banding. And this is what could lead to some very impressive snowfall rates and actually knock down our snow ratio in these locations. Now, the question is exactly where is this going to set up? The overall theme is going to be just to north of where this thermal gradient sets up around 0 degrees Celsius. So let's say you get this wintry mix here, you get snow, sleet, rain mixed in here. Then just to the north, you get this intense band. And this is where I think we could see a foot of snow setting up in these locations, wherever this band sets up and marches on through. And we're seeing in various model guidance exactly where this is going to set up. And we're going to be using mesoscale models like the NAM model guidance as we get closer in the HRR to get a better idea of where these bands are going to set up. So we'll be having live coverage throughout the forecast period on Saturday afternoon on through Sunday morning, detailing where these bands are going to set up, because it's going to lead to that range in your snowfall totals from 6 inches to 12 inches, depending on where these bands set up. And obviously, if you are to the south or to the north of these bands, north or south, excuse me, that is where you're going to get sinking air, and that's where you're going to see more sleet mix in, thus lower snowfall totals, or in a case of the I-95 corridor, that's where you can see more rain mix in, knocking down your snowfall totals on top of everything going on with the 850 millibar low. So with all these factors coming together, this is how I generally see this forecast playing out. For locations in the Poconos, the Lehigh Valley, northern New Jersey, Connecticut, Hudson River Valley. I really like this forecast is going 6 to 12 inches. Again, that range is because of those snow bands that are going to be popping up here. There will be some sleet mixing at times, and the snow ratio on average outside these bands are probably going to be around 9 to 1, 10 to 1. This area here is where it's high volatility. Down here, pretty simple. Half an inch to an inch of rain. Don't be surprised on Sunday morning we get a little bit of a break as we get some dry air, a dry slot marching through southern New Jersey, which is why we're staying around a half an inch to an inch of rain and not higher. But this area right here, if your 850 millibar lows forms around midnight and intensifies as you head into Sunday morning, then what you're going to end up with is a wintry mix of snow, sleet, and rain changing over to snow much faster. And thus, this is where you end up with your 3 to 6 inches of snow for locations like New York City, north side of Long Island, the extreme shore of Connecticut, to the north and west of Philadelphia, or just north of King of Prussia, Lancaster, York. In this area, that's where you're going to see that. Now, a little bit of a caveat here. Most of the snowfall is going to be on cold surfaces because the boundary layer temperatures are very marginal, basically around 33, 34 degrees. So your roadways with any type of treatment should just remain wet. As you head down further south towards Trenton and Philadelphia and the south side of Long Island, well, again, this is where your gradient falls off to 1 to 3 inches. Same thing with the roadways. Most of those roadways are going to be wet. Most of your snowfall is going to be on cold surfaces like the grass, your car tops. But that is where we see this scenario setting up. And then further south, a trace to an inch as the snow comes to an end. Now, with this setup here, if we see in this scenario that low pressure system taking longer to form, then this area here becomes constricted. This area grows basically reaching up to about New York, and near 3 to 6 and 1 to 3 inch range becomes very, very tight. The gradient here remains the same. The gradient down here remains the same. This gets very tightly packed. And that's essentially where we are heading towards in this forecast as we move forward. Now, after this storm, we have another problem. After all this snow falls and we have a pretty significant snowpack in place over the interior, let's say over 6 inches, easy, right? With about an inch of QPF or water in that snowpack. Then we introduce another storm that's going to be approaching. And when we take a look at the upper level winds, very impressive divergence and diffluence, which is going to support fanning out of the lifting. You're going to allow for strong lifting over the region. While that's happening, a strong jet streak is going to be developing along the coast, and that's going to introduce the potential for strong wind gusts. But also, while all this is happening, you got the strong lifting, you have the subtropical jet stream, you have precipitable water values approaching 2 inches over the region. So we already had plenty of rainfall already. Now we deal with this additional rainfall coming in on Tuesday night into Wednesday. There is potential here for this storm to produce flash flooding, urban flooding, wind damage, power outages. So Tuesday night into Wednesday morning looks like it is going to be a mess as well. So with that, let's dive into our forecast for today. High pressure and control with temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s. Tonight into tomorrow morning, look for increasing cloud cover with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s. For tomorrow, again, our storm starts to move through with temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s for highs and then leveling off as the precipitation takes hold. On Sunday, our storm pulls away with rain and snow showers. Temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. On Monday, high pressure and control with tranquil but chilly conditions. Look for lows in the lower to mid 20s over the interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior and upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. On Tuesday, high pressure begins to exit the region. Look for increasing cloud cover with low temperatures, very chilly, in the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s in your suburbs, mid to upper 20s in your urban areas. Then the rainfall comes in. Now, I'm a little concerned for the interior here. This could actually start off as a little bit of sleet and freezing rain before changing over to rain. Everyone goes over to rain, but with the snowpack in place and that low level cold air, we could definitely see the potential here for some freezing rain initially. But the temperatures will steadily warm up. And by the time we get towards the evening hours, high temperatures will range from the upper 40s to lower 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast, with a rapidly melting snowpack that's already saturated with water, combined with easily around midnight 2 to 3 inches of rain Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So that could be pretty impressive and lead to a lot of flash flooding around the region. So something just to prepare for after this storm to get ready for. And there's going to be potential for flooding of rivers, wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, especially along the coast, wind damage, power outages. It is going to be a very nasty storm. By Wednesday afternoon, temperatures start to fall throughout the day as the cold air builds in. Look for temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, mid 40s to lower 50s along the coast in the morning hours, and then falling through the 50s, 40s, and 30s in the afternoon and evening. On Thursday, high pressure will start to build in with sky cloud cover. Could be a few flurries here and there in the Poconos and Catskills. Look for low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. And on Friday, another area of low pressure will approach with scattered showers and a few rain snow showers over the higher elevations. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast, and high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior and upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe out there.